Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Natasha and my blog is about real, simple life in Russia from the perspective of an ordinary local woman. In today's video I'm gonna share a very personal story with you guys. Honestly, I would never expect that I will share something like that with you, but I think it's the right time to do it. Before making this video, I read the comments to my previous vlog that I published recently. It was a video about my first job in Russia, and I got that a lot of my viewers really don't know me as a person and ask the same questions all the time. You know, guys, I am trying to be very open in my vlogs. I am a very down-to-earth person, I'm very direct, and I don't pretend to be someone I'm not. I am the same as I am in life, and I think it's very important for a blogger. That situation that happened with me really taught me a lot. It was a great experience. It was a negative experience, but it was very nice for me because it changed me in some way and changed my attitude to different things in life, and that helped me to get the better understanding of life in general. To make my vlog more entertaining, as usual, I'm cooking a nice dish today. And today's dish is goulash. My dears, look at the ingredients I have already prepared for goulash. First of all, please relax. I know this is a Hungarian dish, this is not a Russian dish, but I would like to show you my version of this dish. It was pretty popular in Soviet times and now many housewives still cook it. I will show you not the Soviet version, but the version that I prefer and that I cook and that I like. If you are Hungarian, please let me know in the comments what you think about my recipe. I will use beef, carrot, onion, garlic, tomato, also tomato paste, bay leaf, salt. I will also use a few more seasonings that I will show you later. Also potato, and I will use some water. First, guys, let's prepare tomatoes. In the late 2010s, I was searching for a new job. You know, guys, I'm a journalist, I have a degree in this field, and that time I was searching for a new job. I tried to find something better, and there was one site that I was a visitor of. I regularly read articles on that website. It was completely entertaining content for women. It was very cool for that time. It was in Russian, that's important to clarify. And I decided to try my luck and to contact them asking for a job because I have already had a big experience in the media and I thought like maybe I could get this job. I will fry beef at the beginning. I have already added here salt, pepper and a bit flour. They responded to me pretty quickly and really offered me a job. At the beginning I was just an author and I earned not a big amount of money, but I was very happy because I had much enthusiasm to get to the top on this website, in this editorial, because it was completely what I wanted to do. Because, you know, guys, I am not into political content because for me it's always very frustrating. Last years of my career in journalism, I wrote articles about culture, about movies, some female stuff, style, design, you know. I was actually pretty lucky because the team was adorable and I was completely happy. It was a remote job, but it was closer to 9-to-5 job, so I worked regularly there. I spent maybe 6-7 hours a day writing articles, and it saves a lot of time because I didn't spend time on taking to some office, it was very comfortable. Okay, I fried meat a bit and now I'm taking it out, but it actually isn't ready. So now we need to fry veggies. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you the name of this company, but I should say that was an international company and they had the Russian editorial. There were a lot of Russian-speaking people from mostly post-Soviet countries, and that project was pretty successful and I really liked it. After about a year of working for that company, I became one of the most successful authors in my editorial because I got how to make articles that will reach the larger audience, because we analyzed the statistics pretty well, how many views your article will get. We also analyzed titles, thumbnails, the time of reading, and other important things. So now you know I'm not a complete loser, because I saw the comments to my previous video and some of my viewers thought that I'm a complete loser, but I only shared my experience when it comes to my first job. I think every person had a very bad first job. After 2 years, I became an editor. In that editorial, we had a few editors. I was really happy. I started to control other authors, other employees, and I helped them to choose the right topics that will get a lot of views. I helped with the thumbnails, with the titles. Also, I checked all the articles that they prepared with me. It was a great experience too. About a few months after I started to be an editor, I got that the authors that create articles with me get pretty good views. I analyzed statistics a lot. After about 2 months of how I became an editor, I got that I know how to do it. I know how to use my knowledge in this field and how to create good articles and how to reach the audience, how to keep their attention. And my lady boss got that I get the full picture, and the articles that I worked with usually got very good views. I usually had the best results in my editorial, and I don't want to brag, guys, but it really happened that time. That's important to say that I was very hard working. It wasn't like, okay, I finished my working day and I will go somewhere and do some stuff I want. No, I always was thinking about my job. I often worked on weekends, I often worked on holidays, and it was completely normal for me because I really loved it and it was a really nice job. These years were really great and I did my best to make our project more and more successful. I really loved this job because the salary was very good and I really did what I liked to do. But you know, guys, what happened in 2022, and you know that I worked in the Russian editorial. I spoke English at that time, but you know, guys, it's difficult for me to write articles and my level of English is not as high to write books or articles. I can do it, but I make mistakes very often and I cannot express my thoughts as a native speaker. Okay, after the sanctions, our project suffered, unfortunately, and to monetize the content in the Russian language became more and more difficult. Our website continued to work, but it got less money from advertising as far as I knew. And my lady boss knew that I'm a very hardworking person and I know much about articles, about everything that is connected with articles and how to make content successful, you know. And She offered me to start to work to another website of our company. I think it was her own idea to start a new website. It was a website in English, by the way, and she tried to do some effective things to try to increase the amount of money that company can earn using another projects, because they lost money on the Russian-speaking project and she decided to create another project. That's important to clarify. She was Russian too, and she worked for that company, so she wasn't like an owner of the company. She was just an employee like me, but she was my boss. She said that it will be a website in English and I should start to work for that website, and we will try to make this site successful as our previous website in Russia. That's important to clarify that that company had websites and communities on different social media in different languages. I actually thought that I cannot refuse, and I said like, okay, I will try. I got that my English isn't perfect, but my job wasn't about writing articles. I worked on the audience, the thumbnails, the titles, the topics. And at the beginning it was pretty difficult because our audiences are a bit different. Something is okay for Westerners and something isn't okay for Slavic people. And after maybe 2 months, we started to get good results. That was really surprising, but I did my best to make it more successful. I also had another editor who worked with me. We worked together, and also authors. We tried to do this and to succeed in this, although it wasn't very easy. That's very important to clarify that I have never worked for political media outlets. Only at the beginning of my career, when I worked for regional news agencies, but later I worked only for entertaining websites, entertaining media. It's very important, guys, for your understanding. Later we celebrated New Year and the site was going pretty well and I was happy. But after the holidays, something happened. The article started to get less views. Now I get it was all connected with the algorithms, because Google, YouTube too, all these search engines, and YouTube, different platforms, they all launch algorithm updates at the beginning of every year. And to succeed in this period is pretty difficult. A lot of companies, websites, channels lose their views, and now I understand it pretty well. But that time I was very nervous about it and I felt something happening. We are on a very difficult and nervous moment of the story. I remember I celebrated my birthday in January, and in February my lady boss, that lady boss that I mentioned, said that we should call and she wants to tell me something. I said okay. After about a day or two, we had an online meeting and she said that they decided to close our project. And she said it like, it's okay, no problem. I responded, okay, so what could I answer? And she said like, don't worry, everything will be all right. You will get a vacancy on our other project. No worries, everything will be all right. And we finished our call. I was shocked a bit. Not a bit, guys. I was completely shocked. But it was only the beginning. Later, one more interesting thing happened. I opened our working chat, or I don't know what is it, And my lady boss posted a document there, what vacancies they have on their projects. And I didn't see any vacancy for me, guys. I was completely broke. I didn't even respond to anything, and I didn't message her. I was just sitting on my sofa, and I thought like, what's the shit? I was so shocked that I even didn't know what to do and how can I act. And I thought like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with the world? I really worked so hard there. I worked even on weekends. Sometimes if they asked me to work. I worked even on my holidays if they asked me to work. I always responded to them if they asked me something on my weekends, on my holidays. I was so frustrating, guys. I really don't know why it happened like that. It's true that I really did everything, and I'm not lying about my success in this company. It's completely true. But I even don't think it's connected with my nationality, because a lot of Russians worked for that company. Even my lady boss was Russian, so I don't know. I really don't know. Probably my lady boss said I'm blamed in everything what happened with this project, but now again I understand that it's almost impossible to make a website very successful after half a year, because it's how search engines work. Need time for your project to make it visible for search engines to get really good results. That's significant to say that it happened years ago, guys. That time I got that life is very unfair and very cruel. And sometimes we just cannot control different things. And I know that different challenges that I have in life now, I also cannot control this. Not to lose my mind that time, I was totally exhausted, and it wasn't easy to overcome that period, but my mental health is pretty good, thanks God, and that's why I started to feel much better pretty soon. Now I think bad events can be shared to two main categories. The first one, the events that we can change. And in this case, it's important to act, to do something to change the situation. For example, if you are dating with an abusive partner, you can just leave him, or if you hate your job, just leave it. But the second category of events are the events we cannot influence at all. And I think to get nervous about it is just useless, because we cannot change it. It's something that is happening, it just happens, and that is all. I cannot influence it. Only it can influence my life. And honestly, I'm not a person who likes to complain a lot, to tell that everything is bad, my life is bad. I try to focus on positive sides. And if you open the main page of my channel, you may see the phrase in my profile, "And God created strong woman." I chose this quotation because, you know, there is such a movie, God Created Woman, with Brigitte Bardot, and this woman was very beautiful, and this movie is also very nice, and I changed this name a bit, added strong, the word strong, because I think I can consider myself a strong woman in some way. I don't think I'm a super strong and strong physically. No, physically I'm not strong, but mentally in some way, guys. Write in the comments if you want me to share what happened with my lady boss after that, because it is also very interesting. I almost always fry onion separately from meat and other ingredients, because it usually have juice that is not very nice, and it can add a not very good flavor to the dish. So need to fry it well. Let's prepare water to make sauce. I'm adding tomato paste there. If you have broth, you can add it, but I don't have it. So I'm adding starch. And mix it. Onion is good now. It's pretty soft. Now I'm adding garlic. Garlic is here. I prepared garlic powder by myself. The smell is just unbelievable. Carrot. I know some really like when there is much carrot, but I actually don't, so just one carrot. Next I added half prepared beef. Tomatoes. I also like to add pepper there, but unfortunately I don't have it now. My dears, next I'm adding seasonings. You may use everything you have. I'm using paprika, basil, different herbs, special seasonings for meat. So you may just choose what you like. I finally added potatoes. I added the sauce I prepared, and now let's wait. Guys, have you ever faced some unfair situations in your life? And if you did, please share your story in the comments. I read all the comments, and it's always nice to see your stories, your opinions in the comments to my channel. Also, thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for spending your time on my blog. I always appreciate it. My dears, and look at the result. This fantastic goulash, pickled cabbage with the pumpkin oil, my favorite brown bread. If you're eating something, enjoy your meal, guys. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Thank you for your nice comments, for your attention to my channel. Have a nice day, and God bless you.